market stall set up, and I wanted to just share my screen. I was talking to my members the other day about the merchandise that I've sort of purchased for the stall and pricing and that, but I wanted today just to run through the actual setup, things that you need if you want to start a market stall, things you're going to need, things that I've run a lot of market stalls forever. I always seem to have a market stall. But I was doing a weekly one in Maryborough, but I did stop that because it was just a lot of work, and I'm just super busy at the moment. So now what I do is I try and do a market stall at festivals, things like that, like big events. Like we have a few tourism events around this area. So like I'll do a twilight Christmas market, probably with Christmas cards and all of that with my artwork. Plus art's a great present as well. This one I'm doing is Childers Festival. It's a huge festival up in Childers. They kind of close the main street down for 3 days, with the market days on the Sunday, and it goes all day. And there's what I wrote down, there's 469 stalls. How's that? So if you're up this area, it's definitely one to check out. So yeah, I thought I'd just run through and give you an idea if it's something you've been thinking about doing with your art, or with anything for that matter. Then I thought this might be handy to see sort of what I'm setting up with. The other thing to sort of always keep in mind as well is what type of market is it. So I used to do caboolture markets, and I've done nick and bar markets, and they're kind of, I call them like a trash and treasure market. So you can sell all your secondhand goods there. So the people, like fruit and veg, secondhand goods, all that sort of stuff. So the people that are visiting them aren't really looking for artwork and maybe gifts as such. They're more looking for a bargain for themselves. So I've never found them that great, those style of markets. It depends what you're selling as well. At caboolture, I used to do hand-painted house names. This is going back a long time. And they used to do really well. I used to take orders, and yeah, they'd be great. And because I was there all the time, people start to get to know you're there. So when they decide they want a gift or something, they go to the market and expect to see you. Same with, like, there's a lot of tourist art and craft markets. They're probably a little bit better for artists. And again, if you want to build up a reputation and people knowing that you're there, especially if you're doing commissions like pet portraits, things like that, then you need to be regular. It's not that profitable as in sales, but I did find when you're there a long time, people start to know you're there, and then when they want a gift, or say their pet's passed away and they want a commemorative portrait, they know where to go. And it's a great way to hand out business cards, all the rest of it. So it's a long-term sort of build, I suppose. Whereas what I'm doing with these festival, like the more like one-off sort of event, I'm taking a lot of merchandise from all ranges, so starting at $5 right through to original paintings. Now, the originals probably won't sell. I might sell one maybe, but I'll sell greeting cards are really popular. And a lot of people don't buy greeting cards as a greeting card. They buy them to put on their fridge, like frame the picture or put it on their fridge or somewhere like that. So they're actually buying it for the picture. You know, tea towels, tote bags, all that sort of stuff. And then another idea which I'm doing is I'm going to be doing drawing demonstrations, which again will help bring people in. And I'm hoping people might be inspired to buy the actual drawing I'm doing because there's a story behind it. They've watched me do it. I've been chatting to them. So that's a really good way to sort of try and make a sale as well. And so all things like that you've got to think about before you actually start the market stall, and just figure out if it is going to be for you, because it is a lot of work to set up and pack up, and you feel absolutely exhausted by the end of the day. But they're also a lot of fun. It's a really good way to meet people and get your name out there and chat to everyone. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's go with this. Oh, hold on. You'll have to bear with me. Like I said, I've got a very runny nose as well. Where am I? Yeah. Share screen. Okay. Okay. So this essentially is my market stall setup. And I'm going to run through all the individual things and share some photos of them, of like more close-up photos of everything. So this was a twilight market in Caboolture, Maryborough. So essentially I have my originals hanging on one wall there, and then I have a table at the back, which is kind of where I sort of bit of a check out a few things on there. And then my easel where I can do a drawing demonstration. And then this table on the right has all my greeting cards and prints on. And this, I've also now got some tea towels and tote bags, so I'm going to hang some of those. So I'm setting up a bit of a hanging system to hang those as well. And the other thing you need to look at, this is a very standard layout. Sometimes I'll put a banner in the back with my like my logo and everything on. But I was looking at the map for Childers, and just wondering if this will come through. Hold on. I don't know if this will, I need to, I'll probably, share. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. All right, I'm going to stop share. I'm going to have to go back and forth because otherwise it won't share my screen. Okay, so I was looking at the map. This is one of the maps. There's 4 maps for Childers. And I was looking at this, and it looks like people are going to be walking either side of my stall. So that's where I will have, oh, this is going to be annoying, isn't it? Flicking back and forth. I'm going to move that table and probably have a table under the paintings. So because people can walk either side, you want them to be able to walk into your stall on either side. Okay, so you don't want them to be blocked in any way. So your stall layout is going to probably also depend on how people like where the main thoroughfare is, I suppose. But to me, I think that Childers Festival could very much be both sides, because they say there's usually around 40,000 people attend it. So we'll see. All right, hi Leonie and Kate. Okay, so I suppose the first thing when you pick a market is you've got to apply for it. So you can't just, depends, like I was saying with the sort of trash and treasure style markets, usually you can get into those. You just rock up or you phone ahead, and they're, you know, not too expensive. But the artist markets or festivals like this, you have to apply. You've got to send photos of your work. You've got to send photos of your stall set up. So if you've never done a market before, you'd have to do a mock setup in your backyard, and then send that off, and then they'll let you know if you're accepted or not. Okay, so there's like a process. You can't just rock up to a market. They'll send you like I said, they'll let you know if you're approved, and then if you're approved, they will then send you, go back to the map. They will then send you like a map, like tell you what site number you are, a map, a whole list of when to bump in, which that means go in and with your car to unpack. Usually you've got to get your car out of there as quick as you can, and then like give you all the details of how long the market goes for, when you're allowed to start packing up, that sort of stuff. Okay, so I'm 119, so they've sent me, they've got, like I said, there's 4 pages, there's 469 stalls for this. So now I can see I'm on the corner of these streets here. So when I rock up there at 5:30 in the morning, I'll have a rough idea of where I am, and there'll be people to guide you as well. And you've got 3 hours to set up, I think. So yeah, so if you get accepted, they then send you all the details about it. And they're quite, a lot of markets are fairly strict. So when you first apply, you've got to tell them what you're selling kind of pretty specifically. And if you aren't selling what you've told them to sell, that you're selling, they'll boot you. Like you've got to be really honest with what it is you're doing. Okay, so just things like that you've got to think about. And then once you get accepted, well, actually, this is before you get accepted. Let me just go back here. Hold on. This is something you've got to do before you get accepted. So that's for me, there's a lot to it. Just share this. Share. You need insurance. Okay, so even before you apply, because when you apply, the first thing they ask is who you're insured with and kind of your policy number sort of thing. Well, the certificate of currency they always want. So before, you even get started in an artist market type of thing, you need to be insured. So I'm already insured because I'm an art teacher. So this Guildhouse Insurance is who I use, and they cover markets and teaching and all things art related. They're I think it's around 290 for a year. It's just gone up, and it's 20 million public liability, which everywhere always asks 20 million. So the council markets I was doing in Maryborough, they needed this as well. A lot of I keep calling them trash and treasure markets, but I haven't had to have insurance for those. So a little bit different, I suppose, but that's one of the questions you need to ask. And something, if you're applying, you need that insurance to even apply. Okay, so you don't want to have to spend that on insurance if you're not even sure if you want to do a market. So I would probably even start at a market that you don't need all of that, just to test out whether you even like doing it. But I've always loved the markets because it gives me a great chance to talk to people. They're always lots of fun. Okay, so let's share my screen again. Well, I just want to. I thought I'd be able to flick through my folder, but it's not going to let me. Okay. So, hold on. I'm just going to have to go to each picture separate. Oh no, I might be able to share it. Okay, so first thing, you need a gazebo. So I just have a 3 meter by 3 meter. That's a standard site size. And I don't bother getting powered site at all. I don't need power although even at that nighttime market, I just had a torch hanging from the middle and I ran fairy lights, little battery fairy lights. So I didn't need power. So a gazebo is essential. And the walls, like you may not use the wall, but it is handy to have a couple of walls in case it starts raining, because the last thing you want is your artwork to get wet. I've had artwork ruined at markets. That's the only problem. because sometimes you sort of throw these walls up, but they're not that waterproof. So I make sure I take towels and everything there. But sometimes it rains without you even realizing. So you've got to be quick at putting them up. A lot of times it also depends. If you've got a stall that's fairly open, then I don't like having walls on mine. But if I'm jammed side by side next to a heap of other market stalls and they've got walls up, then you may as well have yours up as well. So, but they're more there for a precaution. And then, of course, the other most important thing is sandbags or weights on your legs. If you don't have weights, again, they'll kick you out. You have to have weights for your gazebo. It's really important because it can be super dangerous if your gazebo takes off and knocks someone over. So weights, so gazebo weights, and then of course table. I don't know if you can see this. Is this going through? Hold on. Just let me check. Yep. Okay, cool. Well, now I've lost where I'm at there. Okay. So tables, just the normal folding tables. And then a chair. So I haven't got this chair, but I want it. It's just a little telescopic stool, and it just folds up. So you got to think about things that are going to fold up pretty easy. You want compact because it is a lot of work setting up. So you want things that'll drop down. I really like this little stool. It was just on Amazon, so I might get it. Marianne, you had to produce proof of insurance in Victoria, even for the little old community market. Okay. Yeah, I think they're cracking down on insurance a lot, and they always want 20 million. So definitely something to think about. So yeah, stool. These are table covers. So I if you noticed in my I wonder if I can flip back and you'll see this. You should. So you can see in my market stall, I just got tablecloths. I sometimes have Hessian tablecloths because when I first started my stall, it was kind of a rustic feel. But these are just some tablecloths I've got at home. But I don't mind these. You can get them in all different colours, and you don't have to worry about them like putting pegs on to stop them blowing and everything. So if it's windy, it doesn't matter. So I might end up getting some of them as well, actually, eventually. So you've got your gazebo, your tables, your chair. Then this was, again, I don't have this, but this is, a lot of people have been using this, I've seen, as a checkout stand. So they'll have their iPad or whatever sitting on the top, or their business cards, and then they'll have in behind their cash box and stuff, so it's out of sight. And I thought that's pretty good, and that contracts down as well. So it's just like a table, and then you just pull it up, and it's like a little stand-up checkout. And then some people also use crates. So I on my table, I have a crate. Sometimes use it for a stand, but you can then put your cash box and that in behind there. So you've just got to think of somewhere that it's kind of safe. If it's just sitting on the table, then you're sort of asking for trouble, I suppose. And then I have a fold-up easel. So it is compact. It folds up to just this little carry case down here. And when you open it up, it's pretty big, good size that I can work on. Even if I wasn't doing a demonstration, I quite often take it and just put a bigger painting on there just to show that I do larger work as well. Oh, my nose is running. And then, just let me go back to this one. I'm hoping you can see these pictures. See where my paintings are hanging on the left-hand side? there's a wire rack there. So it's actually 3 panels. And this is them here. They're just from Bunnings Hardware, and they're a wire panel. I think they're 1200 high by 600 wide, something like that. Just they're like a powder coated white. And then what I do is I use zip ties and zip tie to the rack. Okay, so zip ties, they're pretty strong. They'll hold painting as long as you get half decent ones. And they're really easy because I'm sort of doing it myself, so I can kind of do it easy, just zip them on, and then I just cut them off at the end of the day. Oh, good, Di. I'm glad the pictures are showing. So yeah, I'll just flick back here. So yeah, so each one of these paintings is held on through the back of your painting has the little D hooks, or the hooks where the wire goes through. That's sort of usually where I zip tie through, so that they're nice and secure, because you've always got to think when you're at a market about wind. Wind is your worst enemy. Rain kind of sucks too, but wind is the worst. If it's windy day, it's not a fun time. So you're always trying to think of ways that things are going to be secure, so it doesn't matter too much if the wind does pick up. All right, so that's sort of the main equipment. So that's sort of how I set up. So you put your gazebo up, your walls up, your tables, tablecloths, and then my wire racking goes up. And then I suppose the next thing you got to think about is payment as well. So I use a square reader, which is really handy. I think nowadays you really do need some sort of FPOS type of system. So the square readers, you can just get them from Officeworks, and they just link to your phone. So the main thing is you've got to make sure you have your phone and a power pack for your phone, because just remember you're there all day. So you don't want your phone to go flat. If your phone goes flat, you can't use your square reader. So that's really important to make sure you've got a battery backup for that. Then of course your cash box. Not that many pay cash nowadays, but you know, still some do. And I'm gonna probably price all of my items in multiples of 5. So $5, $10, $15, that sort of thing. That way I don't need all this change. I can just have, you know, some 5s, 20s, 10s, that sort of stuff, and not worry about a heap of coins or anything. So yes, wind is your worst. Oh, now I get it. Very good, Karen. So yeah, so cash box, but just always think about things that's going to make it easier for the customer and easy for you as well. Is that? Oh no. And then so that's payments. Then I haven't got the merchandise here, but oh no, I forgot to put it up. Oh, well, I did take a photo of all the different things I was taking, but I forgot to put it up. So you know, think of things when you're at a market. People want right, lost my there we go. Yeah, again, you've got to think of where you are and what type of people are coming. That maybe the area you're at, is it a tourism spot? Are you on the beach? You know, are you in the country? All that sort of stuff will determine what's going to sell, I suppose. So, but you really need a broad range of price products. So like I was saying, I've got originals there. I wouldn't take a $2,000 original because it could get damaged, and there's pretty much no chance I'm selling a $2,000 original at a market store. But I will take originals up to around that 500, 600, around that. You know, you might get lucky and sell a couple. But I find small items, they love the originals. but can't afford it. So, or a lot of times they're in caravans as well if it's a tourist spot, so they really don't have any way to take it home. And some people that are living in their vans for a couple of years, they don't have room on the wall. So that's when they want the prints or the greeting cards, things like that. So like tea towels, bags. So just that big range of products. So like I said, a lot of people love my work and they'll buy a greeting card and use that instead. So just think about that, because you do need all that big range. What is the orange strip across the back? I don't know what you're talking about, Marianne. If you're talking about back here, that's a brick wall that's behind my stall, if that's what you mean. I think that's what you mean. Okay, and then of course we need to think of packaging as well. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, there. So bubble wrap to wrap up any paintings. And then this is a bit small, this picture, but I've got a heap of these brown paper bags. So they'll be good for prints, things like that. The greeting cards, a lot of times, if I have small ones of these bags, I'll probably put greeting cards in those. Otherwise, you know the old brown school lunch paper bags you used to get your tuck shop written on. I used to just buy a pack of them from Coles or Woolies and put the greeting cards in those. So it's a lot, it's quite cheap, but it's still packaged and looks nice. So you've got to think about that as well. And then of course, yeah, the bubble wrap for your originals. Always make sure you add a card or something into there. I think that, yep. So what I've got here is, things to, excuse me, my nose is running. You always want people might not buy anything, but if you can give them a card or something, you never know, they might look it up, or when the time's right, they might contact you to buy something, especially if you're doing commissions as well. So I have business cards, but I also got these made up. So just has my website on this side, and then this side, because I have my online art membership. So this is a whole little blurb about the membership and a QR code that they can scan and go straight to it, and learn more about it. So you want to make things easy for your customer. And then these are just my business cards, so front and back. So business cards are probably your cheapest option to include everywhere. Like you just have them on the table, hand them out left, right, and center. Anything I sell always has a business card in the back of it. All my prints I package, I make sure I've always got something like that in there. And then I've also got a few free things. Like I have quite a lot of bookmarks left over from my subscription boxes. So I'll quite often hand those out to kids all the time. Like you see kids come in and they love, like they're just, oh my God, I love it. So I'll give them a bookmark, and they just, yeah, absolutely love it. So things like that, you could make up just printouts and colouring sheets that you find on the internet for kids as well. Just really you want the whole experience of people being in your market stall a good one, and make sure you talk to everyone and be really courteous to everyone and just friendly. It goes a long way, and people will remember you as well. I'm just thinking I made up a little market checklist as well. Just let me see if I can find it. I'll stop sharing. go there. Oh, this cold is killing me. All right, so this is a market stall checklist, which will be inside the membership as a Canva template for those watching who's in the Creative Barn. So you can change this. It'll be a Canva template link, so you can change it to suit yourself. So I've got like the application that we went through, things like you've got to get your insurance, you'll take photos of your products, mock-up photo of your stall. So they want all of that when you first apply. And then you need to, of course, read, if you get accepted, familiarize yourself with what time you need to be there and all the rest. Then the setup was the gazebo and the tables, chairs, all of that stuff. Product display, so that's where I'm talking about, you got to think about like those wire racks to hang your paintings on. I have not seen anything better than that. I stole that idea off someone I saw at the markets, and I've never seen anything that's better than that system. But also, if you've got prints and greeting cards and that, rather than lay them all flat on the table, you need to think of ways that you can stand them up. So whether you can get hold of some sort of a print display stand or a greeting card stand, something like that. It's easier if it's standing up and not laying all over the table. And then, of course, you need your zip ties, sticky tape, scissors, all of that stuff. Make sure you take like pen, everything you think you might need, just take it. Masking tape, yes. Scissors, knife, everything. You just have a box just full of all that sort of stuff, because no doubt you'll get there and you'll have forgotten something. It's really annoying. And then, of course, your merchandise, so what you decide you want to sell. I'm also going to take some leftover subscription boxes and try and sell some of those as well. Or I could break them down and just sell the books separately or something like that, turn them into little gift bags maybe. And then your payment system, your Cashbox, Square Reader, your phone and power bank. And then an invoice book is probably handy. You don't need it for your Square Reader. You can send them an invoice automatically. But if you're doing cash sales and you want to keep a track of it, or the customer might buy something, for a couple of $100 and wants a written invoice, so it is handy to have an invoice book there. Notebook and pen, of course, because you'll no doubt get some people that might want to do a commission if that's what you want to do, or they might want, you might need to take a note that you need to send them a photo of maybe another piece of art you've got at home or something that they're interested in. Promotional packaging, that's your business cards, bubble wrap bags, all of that. Also, a good idea, it's always good to try and build your email list whenever you get a chance. So I'm talking to people who want to build a business as an artist, of course. If you're a hobby artist, you're not interested in an email list. But the sooner you start an email list, the better, because it's your list. You can always, when you do decide you might want to start selling more, it's a good idea to get, not everyone's going to put their email down on it, but if it's there, it's an opportunity to catch some emails. And then, of course, after the markets, add those emails onto your customer list and follow up any notes, like any to-dos if anyone has contacted you or has asked for you to get back to them for something. So, all right. Oh my God, my voice. All right. Looks great. All right. Okay, so that is my tips, I suppose, and how I set up my market stall. Like I said, there's a lot to think about. It is a really good idea, if you haven't done it before, to do a mock stall in your yard, like set up your gazebo, set up your tables, sort of figure out how you're going to display things, you're gonna make it look nice. Yeah, and like I've got to sit down and make signs as well, which wasn't on that list, but people like to see the price, so make price stickers maybe to stick on your cards or your prints, or just a sign that you can put next to where they are and just have all cards like $5 or whatever they are. So yeah, you need to make sure you got price in there. So it's all little things like that. You've got to really think about the customer experience, I suppose. And that's why it's a good idea to have like Nico pen cards, things like that, because inevitably you'll get there, you'll set up, and you'll get people asking the same question over and over again. Like you might have forgotten to put a sign on this or a price on that. So if you've got that there, you can just write it up and do that. So yeah, but so that is it. It goes along with what all my members on here, like we were talking about Sunday about the merchandise I've bought. So this I thought would be a good add-on to think about all the other things. I know Marianne, you're already doing a market stall for your produce, but yeah, so you probably have to think about a lot of this stuff anyway. But yeah, they are fun. I've always enjoyed the markets. Like I said, I've been doing markets since my kids were little, actually. It was always a way for me to make some pocket money, and I always did creative things. Like I said, I used to hand paint house signs because I was a sign writer. So I'd get an old piece of wood or no, an MDF route. This is back when like folk art and those country houses were the go. So I'd do a routed sign out of MDF or timber, I think, paint it all, then use the vinyl signage for the name, and then I'd hand paint like flowers and things on there as well. So yeah, that was my market stall for many years, actually. So all right, I'm gonna go before my voice dies and my nose just doesn't stop running. So thanks for joining me for this Tuesday chat, and I will talk to you all soon, and I hope it's been really helpful. Okay, I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Bye.